Hey everyone, welcome in. Thank you for joining me. My name is Marlene and I am with A Room to Bloom. I have a visitor here for a little bit who hopped up here as soon as was just about to hit record, but so we might have a couple distractions. But anyway, I wanted to bring forth a message for you here. It's a couple of messages. One of the things that I'd like to speak about is asking you to just ask yourself today, how has the universe spoken to you today? What signs have you been receiving? So this is about tuning into your environment, into your experiences, tuning into what you're hearing, tuning into what you are feeling, honoring what you are knowing, so trusting your intuition. So about maybe 5 days ago, I was vacuuming, and this rug that I was vacuuming, I've had for a long time. It's held out fabulous, right? And for the first time ever, a piece of this rug pulled up. And so the words, I just kind of, I didn't really give it a word yet. Okay. I was just noticing that, right? Then a little while later, my kitties got into some yarn when I was doing something else, and I stepped outside of the room I was in and into this other room, and they had this yarn spread out all over, and it was broken into, I believe it was 5 pieces. And then the words came to me, unraveled. Now, so feeling like something or someone was becoming unraveled. And also, as added confirmation, it was in between the first rug and then finding that yarn. I had seen an image on a like a YouTube short or something, and the image was like two brains sitting side by side, although they were illustrations. One of the brains showed like all of this entanglement, like a tangled brain. And the next image was like the brain looking like a tortoise field, and it made sense, like it had clarity to it. And so it was interesting the way that this unfolded. It's like the universe was saying it's either some type of an entanglement, um, or the brain feeling like it had been bound up or something. And so this is like an unraveling of that. And you can think about that too, like a nervous system type of thing. So the brain can get hyperactive, if you will. So that is something I had written down, and I just haven't really gotten back to it. But it's something that you might be aware of. Have either you yourself become unraveled over some type of a situation? Is there something that is starting to make more sense now? Yeah, it's just starting to make more sense. It doesn't feel so tangled up, if you will. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this reading today with a message from the Soul's Journey deck. And I want to see what comes through here to help you on your journey right away. All right, what message do you have for the collective today that would be helpful? Okay, the first one we have is envy, right? And it's funny because that was what I felt like someone is becoming unraveled. like kind of losing it, right? That was the first thing that came to me. And and it was like, yeah, so I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. So if you are feeling like there is a situation that is unraveling you, and you don't feel like in soul alignment, just something's kind of got your gander, if you will. And it could be envy, right? Asking yourself that hard question. Do you feel that way because you feel envious over another person? And remember that you're the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Okay, what else do we have? Friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. So just sitting with that and thinking about who is that friend in your life. What are your friends? What is the reason your friends are in your life? And I mean, besides the because I met them somewhere and I ran into them and we sort of hit it off, there's a bigger reason. There is an underlying reason. People come into our life to help us see ourselves, to teach us lessons, to help us grow on a soul level, right? And so to look at things from a higher perspective than just surface, right? For surface level. Okay, what else do we have here? Abundance. I am a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality, right? So that would definitely go along with this envy thing. So if someone is feeling envious over, say, another person's abundance of some sort, this person would have the ability to manifest abundance as they are thinking of it, right? So everything starts in our thoughts. Everything starts with our thoughts. So it's like our thoughts, what is our intention? And so if you're not being self-aware, even maybe that this is going on, if you sit with yourself for a while and ask yourself, have you been feeling envious over a situation, a person, or another thing? Have you been giving this more energy than focusing on yourself, your path, your direction? Because if you are, whatever you give energy to expands, right? So if abundance is something that you'd like in your life, and abundance comes in many forms, it isn't just financial, right? We can have abundance in so many wonderful ways. It's just remembering, what are you spending your energy on? And what you give your energy towards will grow, will expand. I'm a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. So in this example, I have a deck here called Angels and Auras. Okay, Angels and Auras. It's by Radley Valentine and Dougal Fraser. Now, this came into fruition because someone had this idea first. They were thinking about it. Spirit may have dropped in a message, right? And so, but first it was created by thought. And then so you start thinking about it. You think about it. It's like you start magnetizing it into its physical form. It starts in the ethers, right? And so we start manifesting it into the physical form. The more you take action steps towards it, the more it starts to get closer to actual fruition, or a physical manifestation of what one was thinking about, right? So it is thought, action, having a result, right? And so same thing with abundance. Thought, taking an action, and having a result. All right, so let's go a little further here. We have courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Now, someone who is envious of another may be struggling with fear. Fear of not measuring up to another's expectations, fear of not measuring up to a family's expectations, to society's expectations, to cultural expectations, right? But when we set that fear aside and we have the courage to see ourselves where we're at, to find that inner strength, right? And to shift our energy from that which would be envious into ourself, self-love, self-care, focusing on that which we desire to bring into manifestation, right? It takes courage to do that, because if everyone else is going in one direction and someone else says, wait a second, there's a different way. There's a different way to do this. That term rubbing people the wrong way, or think about when a busy sidewalk is shown. It looks like a lot of people are kind of walking in one direction, but then you might have one or two people going through a crowd and they're going the opposite direction. They look like salmon fish, or swimming upstream, right? And so it's not always comfortable for everyone when you aren't necessarily going with the grain, but it is okay to be your most authentic self, to be a way shower, to be a thought leader, to be a leader in general, because you see a new way. It's like creating new neurons in the brain, right? Connections. Okay, the next one we have is change, right? I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement, right? So what did I say? First, we have a thought. The movement is the action. We can think about something all day long. And yes, we can manifest stuff into our awareness. But the more that we dance with the universe through action, right? So we think what we'd like to bring in, we take an action step towards whatever it is that we would like to do. So if I would like to create a deck, I'll be thinking about it, right? And so right away I'll be thinking about it, and eventually maybe I'll start seeing ads for printers that'll pop up, because I'm magnetizing that into my awareness, right? And then I start taking an action. I might start checking out printers that can handle the type of work that I'm looking for. Again, I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. I have to move to make a shift, whether that is even just a pivot. So if you're done with this and you want to step into this, then the words of encouragement are self-recognizing that it is time for a shift of energy, a shift in your thinking, or a pivot in what you're focusing on, right? Just pivoting. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, we have health, okay? And so it says, I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul, right? So our body is the vessel for our spirit. And so honoring that in the ways that we can. It does take practice, especially if we've never done that, but a bit at a time, and you do start to notice things. You notice you feel better, because you are taking conscious steps to take care of your physical vessel, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the auras, the angels and auras deck, and see what wants to come through. I may use the book with these, we'll see. What message do you have here under envy? spiritual adventure. So we have a woman who's sitting on a bus. She has a cane, so, struggling to see something. This speaks about travel, education, experience, and inspiration, right? Um, but she has an angel with her who moves along with her as she takes this journey. So let's keep going here. Under friendship, we have point of view. Okay, so where it says a friend is in your life for a reason, we have one person who has a hand on their head, a feather falling down, and the other one with their arms in the air, being grateful, right? So, what is your point of view? The positive point of view is going to be, taking in the beauty of all that is, right? In a situation, having gratitude, assistance, assisting other, receiving guidance and understanding and or clarity, right? So friendship may be in your life to help you see that, especially if you've been moving through your experience with your hand on your head, like, oh no, right? Okay, what else do we have here under abundance? We have be the real you. And I really like this. This gal is unzipping, when people talk about the mask, right? So here's the business suit, and she's zipping that off. It looks like she has a beautiful dress on underneath, and that's like her most authentic self. It speaks of freedom, authenticity, uniqueness, and courage again, which is the next card again here under abundance. Be the real you. Ask yourself, in what situations of your life and or your experience, and let's just take kind of present moment or within the past week, where do you feel like you have kind of worn a mask? I had a conversation with someone today who was talking about, I think that's actually interesting, a friend where they felt that they just could talk about anything. There was never any judgment. There was never any fear, right? They weren't wearing masks with each other. And I find that interesting, right? They shared their points of view, whatever they were, without judgment. Were and are being authentic with each other. And it takes courage to do that, right? Instead of hiding behind a mask. So think about, do you wear a mask at work? Maybe there's a couple people at work where you feel like you can be your authentic self. But then, depending upon how many people you work with, maybe you don't feel like you can be. Maybe you keep your guard up or your mask on, if you will, right? Or family situations or group outings, whatever that is. Okay, under courage, we have don't compromise. So here we have, it looks kind of like a neon heart with auras. Don't compromise. It speaks about having boundaries, being assertive, again, having courage, which falls under courage, and be unwavering. So having the courage to find your inner strength, to face your fear with confidence. Don't compromise on who you are and what you are standing for, your beliefs. What is your truth? Your soul alignment, right? You are here for a reason. You are uniquely you for a reason. Okay, under change, we have confidence, right? So this is also interesting. Today I caught 555 on my phone, which speaks of changes. So again, I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. Here, this gal, she is walking upon a tightrope, holding items of the spiritual nature, right? The healing, the catechist, the time, the dove, the balancing the heart, the angel wing. I have to see what this other, the gold one is money, and then a diploma, right? So Change ahead. Have confidence in yourself. Continue to have strength, balance, be prepared, and yet tranquil as you move through all of this, balancing yourself, your life, taking steps forward. We have courage on here, like I think 4 times, I believe it's listed. On the bottom of the deck, we have you are ready. You know, this is really interesting. I listened to a gal the other day who used the analogy. I've never seen this card, so she used the analogy of a bicycle and training wheels, and so that's what it says. You are ready. So to me, it would feel like taking the training wheels off, right? Now this is in the subconscious mind. It's like it, right? So let's read it. It speaks about momentum, validation, encouragement, and being prepared. You're ready to take the training wheels off, right? You're ready. You've been doing the work. Okay. So the next deck, let's see. I'm going to do I'm going to go to Mind Info Oracle cards. Let's see what comes up with these. All right, what messages do you have here with these? Under the envy and the spiritual adventure, we have give. One of the best feelings we can experience is giving to others. When we do so, we feel lifted up and our lives improve greatly because of someone else's happiness. Think of one way that you can give to another today, right? And a lot of times people think of giving as financially, but we can give in the area of time, of our talent, and of our treasure, right? Okay, what else do we have here? Under a friend is in your life for a reason and point of view, we have check in. When you think about whatever it is that you are pondering, take a moment to check in with how you feel about it. Do you feel lighter or heavier? Excited or filled with dread? Pay attention to your inner guidance. It is always so helpful. So what this is speaking about is, what's coming to mind right now is, as a great example. So how many times kids go to college, right? And they pick their classes that they're going to take. And they kind of get in, and maybe they've done their generals, and so they're picking their next classes. They're ready to move on to the next thing, but they think they know what they want to do. At least it sounds interesting enough, right? And they get in there, and they might be in there for a little bit. Now there's this timeline in which they can receive their money back. I don't remember what it is, and it's probably different, across places, but they can receive their money back if the class doesn't really align with them. It's too many credits that they're carrying, whatever that is. Or think about people, and so they got to do a check-in. Some people might jump ship pretty quickly because they're like, oh no, this is too much, too fast. But some people might continue on in that class because they've invested in it. It's already set up. And now say they're into the class however many weeks, halfway through, let's just say. But they know, like they dread going to the class. It's not, they're just like, they have no excitement about it. Every time they think about it, they feel heavy. This is what we're talking about, this kind of check-in. Now, but how many times do people just keep going for that purpose of, what is the purpose? Fear of losing the money, fear of letting another person down, fear of or shame, right? You feel shame because you feel like, did you quit? Did you quit too early? But we know what aligns with our soul. It's kind of like if you go out with someone. Uh, you might go out with one person, and you can tell that is like it's not working, right? Or you could go out with another person and something just feels right? It just feels easy. It feels genuine, authentic. Where something else was not. It was like going against the grain again, right? So this is asking you to do regular check-ins. Again, when you think about whatever it is that you are pondering, take a moment to check in with how you, key word is here, is feel about it. It's not how you think about it, it is how you feel about it. Because recognize, does your stomach get like tight? Do you because that's like the solar plexus. Do you feel lighter or heavier, excited or filled with dread? Now let's we got to kind of remove, like, if it's an initial thing and you have nerves, that's kind of a little bit different. But if you're kind of into something for a little bit, and you're like, no, this is it, the words are not resonating with my spirit, right? My mind maybe thought that was a good choice. Maybe you were moving from a thought perspective instead of saying, I feel like this class would work better for me. So I had a moment there because my computer stopped, but so if the volume shifted, that's why. Anyway, so we have this situation about checking in with yourself. Let's go ahead and take a couple more of these. Okay, the next one is focus. So that falls under abundance and be the real you. You are being asked to shift your focus away from what isn't working and toward what is. That's exactly what I was speaking about here. If you're struggling with this, shift your focus away from it to move it towards what does work for your soul alignment, right? Paying extra attention to where you place your focus is the first step towards creating an amazing life. So if you're not even sure where your thoughts are running, if you even set an alarm on your phone every 15 minutes, or even shut your phone off, so you have to just kind of change this around a little bit. You could set it on your phone, where you're on your phone, where your thoughts going all over. And that's kind of one of the things with fast videos that turn over. Our thoughts are jumping all over. So it can begin to feel challenging to hold a thought formation. And so if you step back from it, you can regain your ability to do that. So if you were at home, you could set a timer of some sort, maybe one that wasn't making a lot of noise, but, just make a note. What was I thinking about in these last 15 minutes? What was I thinking about in this last 15 minutes? And if it keeps going back to something that is not serving your purpose or your soul alignment, that becomes something that you can become self-aware of, that I see this patterning in myself now, and now that I am aware of it, I can consciously make a shift. I can self-recognize, oh, my thoughts went back there, right? I'm going to pull them back here. I'm going to pull them to my soul alignment. I'm not going to keep focusing on another person's path. I'm going to pull back to myself. I'm going to stay here. These words, stay in your lane, right? Stay in your lane. Because it's your life. It's your experience. All right. So let's keep going here. Okay, under this card that says courage, change, don't compromise, you guys, once again, we have change here. So we have the word change in the same row that goes down twice. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Change. Okay. And so this one says, you're being asked to change a part of yourself that no longer feels like the person that you have become and or are becoming. Change isn't always easy, but letting go of the outdated part of yourself will allow you to align with your true self. So back to this. If this was a way that of life that you were living or whatever, you're being encouraged to take steps like this, to take off that old you that doesn't really feel in alignment anymore, because you are growing, you are evolving as a soul to become the person you are meant to be. You're changing, right? We are here having soul evolution. If you do not feel like you are changing, then chances are you may feel stuck, right? Or things are moving very slowly. And then when we turn that around and we look at the chakra system, and we look at what is going on, compared to the chakra, then there's generally an emotion or something that's tied to why one is feeling stuck or something in their life. And so that, gets back to understanding the chakras. Okay, I am being called to, well, I'm going to look at the bottom of the deck, but I'm being called to split the deck. The word here is connect. Okay, so we have these points all over that intersect, right? You're being asked to connect with others in a meaningful way. And remember that the card that is over here in the subconscious again says you're ready. Sometimes it's helpful to get new perspectives and to simply be around other people. You're in need of this right now, and deep connections will benefit you in many ways, right? So there are definitely times in our journey where we are going to go solo, if you will, where we go in our wintering season of our spirit, or the wintering season that aligns with our earthly timeline. And we do a lot of work in that wintering season. But there are times, though, because we do have cycles. We have cycles in our earthly experience, but we have cycles in our spiritual experience as well. And so this is saying to connect, which is really interesting because I have a lot of things. Oh, here it is. I have 2 cards. I haven't even done the reading on it yet, but I have this deck, and it's about work wellness deck. You guys, oh my gosh, I just realized this. Well, it says connect on both of them. Oh, that was the section called connect. And these are the only 2 cards that I pulled out of there randomly. And what they say is expand your network. So this is just like added confirmation. I'm just going to go ahead and read it. Building a network of professional contacts can open the door to future career experiences and opportunities. Do some research today or this week and identify a networking event or conference in your field or interest. Sign up, spend time developing your elevator pitch, explaining who you are, what you do, and your interest in the event. When it comes time to attend the event, go in with an open mind and the goal of making 3 to 5 connections. Remember, quality connections are made through true conversations, right? I just had something drop. True conversations, which means what? Be the real you. Don't wear the mask. Be proactive and exchange contact information with people with whom you are interested in staying connected with. These connections may help you down the road, or you might be able to connect other people in a way that could positively impact their careers, right? You become a networker, if you will, right? This pink, it's representative of the crown chakra, all these connections. Okay, the next one here was set or revisit short or long-term career goals. It is easy to get caught up working on what's right in front of you. For your growth, it's important to set short and long-term career goals to keep learning and acquiring new skills and experiences. Short-term goals can be accomplished in 6 months to 2 years, and long-term goals are further out, 2 to 5 years. To begin, think about what in your work are you particularly interested in areas in which you would like to grow. Maybe you are interested in making a career shift. The other word could be career pivot, right? We shift our energy, we shift our attention. The words that are coming to me, shiny object, right? Say you go to a store and you're going in there for something, but there is something that catches your attention, right? And you go that way. Now the creative displays, that's what they're designed to do, to throw you off track, to go to their product or what have you, right? But this is like know thyself, right? Know thyself. Learn yourself. Learn what your triggers are. Learn what your strengths are. Learn what your weaknesses are, right? Once you are clear on a career vision, identify key goals and milestones to accomplish. Write your goals to be specific and measurable with realistic dates attached. Check in with yourself. Check in with yourself. Check in with yourself to ensure that you are writing your goals from your wants and desires, not just what sounds good on paper or what others want for you, right? What others want for you. Because what others want for you doesn't necessarily align with your spirit, with your soul. Just like if a parent wants someone in the family to take over the business, but this person's a fabulous artist and it's all about business, and they really don't have any interest in it, but they feel obligated. If that word is coming up, obligation, chances are that is not in soul alignment. If obligation keeps coming up, excitement, desire, love, passion, truth, right? If those words are coming up, then that sounds more like it's in soul alignment. If you have pulled this card before, check in with your previous list of goals. Set up a regular cadence for revisiting them throughout the course of the year, right? So doing quarterly rechecks. How are you doing? You could do monthly rechecks. How are you doing on the goals and or visions that you've set up? Remember to have grace for yourself on this journey, because we are always a work in progress. We do have distractions and challenges. And you know what's coming to me now is the vision of when there's a high-speed chase and, in the movies, and the police officers will get a roadblock set up, right? And then what will they do? They'll throw out those tire things that come up and they pop the tires, right? So it's like, just check in with yourself with that. What is working? Anyway, let's keep going here. I think that's interesting that those came up, because I wanted to do another reading on this, but I was going to wait till Monday. I might use these cards tomorrow to start with and then continue on with that. Let's see. I just want to, I remember. Let's see. We're going to go to another deck here called Letting Go by David Hawkins. So when we get back to this, envy, that's one thing. You might be hanging on to control or feeling like you're not ready, micromanaging it. But you are being shown here that you are ready. The training wheels are coming off, right? Um, what in your life is it time to release? Is it time to release envy, unforgiveness, grief, people, places, jobs, whatever that are not in alignment with your soul anymore? Okay, so, oh, this is, this card says, dear friends. So we're gonna, that is his introduction card. So let's go ahead and go here. It says, start the day by surrendering your thoughts, your feelings about your expectations. Picture the way that you would like it to go. So without the heavy to-do list, just sitting back and envisioning how you would like it to go. And let all of the negative thoughts that would interfere with things go 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 away, right? Just let them go away. So then at the end of the day, sit down and surrender anything that came up that you overlooked or didn't have time to pay attention to. This is called cleaning up, which may help you sleep better, right? You surrender anything that came up that you kind of just didn't have time to get to. Let it go. Trust the universe that it's all going to work out. I do want to show you the colors on this card. It's very lovely. The one thing that I'm noticing here, like, of course, the green, it's like your heart chakra, but the blue, blue is, this peaceful feeling. But the clouds are in the background, right? Like, imagine if you were just watching the clouds. What messages are coming in when you think of a question? What and the clouds are moving a lot. What shapes are moving in to bring messages to you? Okay, what else do we have? We have what one holds in mind tends to manifest, right? Again, so this idea of what am I thinking about? What am I giving my energy to? What am I making bigger? What am I breathing life into? And if you are breathing life into something that you really don't want to get bigger, that is definitely self-recognizing, self-correcting by pivoting and say, okay, that's enough of that. I'm going to shift over here. And so if you recognize that you struggle with worry, anxiety, fear, shame, this type of thing, like creating, whatever, a happy jar of happy thoughts, things that you are grateful for. Like I have a jar of a whole bunch of items that, I say items, but things, whatever, experiences, people, places, whatever it is that I am grateful for. And so if I'm feeling some sort of way, I can simply get that jar out and it starts to shift the perspective. It's like I'm giving gas to that instead of what I was focusing on. That's also being mindful of what you are taking in, because the eyes are windows to our soul, so are our ears. What are we listening to? What are we watching? What environments are we in, right? Again, so what one holds in mind tends to manifest. So here we have like river's edge, sort of like a mountain or a hill, water flowing around it. It says, any thought which we consistently hold in mind and consistently give energy to will tend to come into our life. So like I said, if this is what you're after, abundance, think about ways to be abundant in your life. And again, abundance is not just financially. You could have abundance of friendship, of friends, of family, abundance in your work that you really enjoy going to. Yes, abundance financially. You could have an abundance of, playtime, if you will. So again, hold in mind any thought which we consistently hold in mind and consistently give energy to will tend to come into our life according to the very form in which our mind has held it. So if I have been thinking about painting, right? And now I'm like, so I'm like, yeah, I think I just want to paint. So if I didn't have supplies, right, I would be thinking about that. I might start stopping at places or looking for supplies. The more I'm thinking about it, um, even if you are not in a position to go get everything, if you start thinking about it, you ask and you shall receive. I just read a great story today about, I think it was in Joyce Meyer's book. Um, I that's all I can say. I'm sorry, I don't have it here. But this, they were talking. This person, whoever this, if she wrote that, I'm not sure. But the story was that she needed 12 dish towels, right? And she said she'd written it down that she needed a sign and that she needed 12 dish towels. She said, I don't know, just shortly right after she wrote it, her doorbell rings and a neighbor came over and said, I felt like God told me to bring you over 12 dish towels. You know what I mean? So it was just like that. And so I thought it was a great example. Okay. What else do we have? So ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, right? Knock and the door will open when you're looking for help and guidance and experiences. Okay, love is the ultimate law of the universe. Love is the ultimate law of the universe. It is the energy that radiates when the blocks to it have been surrendered. It is more than an emotion or a thought. It is a state of being. So think of love is, right? Love is what we have become through the pathway of surrender. We simply are love, right? We got here through love. We are love. Lovingness is a way through which we light up the world. We are love. We emanate love. We hold loving thoughts. We hold space for love. We hold loving gratitude. We hold forgiveness, right? We offer forgiveness and grace. And all of these are acts of love, right? So that is the message for today. I think, yeah, so we're just going to wrap that up. I want to say thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.